scan. Camera deployed. Link establishing. Satellite coming down in 3, 2, 1.
Tune in every Monday and Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time for Straight Talk with Matt Hasley. Live audio on TuneIn Radio and Spreaker.com. Plus live video on Ustream.tv. From the demented minds at ArmedRadioGlobal.com.
It's Friday night. Time for some Straight Talk. This is your host, Matt Hasley, coming at you. It is August 12th, day 7 of the Olympics. Rio Olympics. Crazy stuff to report on. I got these, I went to a different headset now. It kind of sounds really weird to me, but we, awesome stuff happened in the pool. But before we get into that, I want to talk about the John Deere Classic. John Deere Classic, soggy mess. We had over 6 inches of rain in the last 2 days, and it hasn't been good for it. They delayed, of course. We had storms yesterday roll through with tons of lightning, put a delay on it, but, you know, those guys do a great job. Round 2 delayed because of darkness. Will begin at 7 a.m. tomorrow, so they're going to have a long day tomorrow. I think the current leaders, there's some of them that have, like right now there's one group, Ryan Moore, he's only completed his first hole of the day. So he's got 17 holes left. And somebody, Zach hasn't even teed off for his second round. So that tells you how far they're behind. And he's set to tee off at 7:50. They kept putting it back. It says 7:50 p.m. But he's going to be going off, I bet you, 7:50 a.m. I think that was a typo. You look at, there's I looked like about 10 or 12 of them that haven't even teed off. Projected cut is -2. So it should be a good shootout. Hopefully they can get it in where they won't have to take it over till Monday. You never know. You can never tell by, depending on how much they got. But I bet you they can probably do it because they'll cut it, top 17 ties, and they'll get them going right away. There won't be much of a break between them. I've seen them when they do the double cut, and I don't like that. And the reason why I don't like the double cut is they've done it before at the John Deere Classic. And what I don't like about double cutting is you get somebody like Jim Furyk, who shoots 50. He shoots 12 under, and he could have put him right into contention. So that's why I don't like to see a double cut, because then somebody could end up getting knocked out of the tournament without the chance for the weekend to come back. Local favorite Zach Johnson is currently 6 under, so he's got some stuff to make up. He's 6 shots back, but he hasn't even started his second round. Wesley Bryan, who is 12 under in the lead, shot 7 under today, shot 66-64. Currently leading, Steve Marino, shot 66-65. He's 1 shot back. So it should be a pretty good tournament from what they have left. I haven't got to see too much of the Olympic golf, but I have been watching a lot of different sports in Olympics. The pool, watching Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps ended up getting a silver medal tonight. It was very close in, I think it was a 100-meter breaststroke. He actually got beat out by, I wouldn't say kid, but he's a kid to him, that he took a selfie with when he was very young, an up-and-coming swimmer. And that's kind of cool, where the kid grew up to beat his idol. Katie Ledecky set another world record, 800-meter freestyle. She was 18 seconds ahead of second place. She dominated. It was like when they showed a couple of the aerial shots, you were like, where are the other swimmers? She set a world record by almost 2 full seconds, and it was beating her own world record. But the thing that, the Olympics are so cool because they happen, they're designed to promote athletic competition between the states or the countries and bring us together. Well, that hasn't been the case. But Anthony Irvin, 35 years of age, won his first gold medal in the 50-meter free when he was 16 years ago, 19 years old. He wins it again at age 35 by 1/100th of a second. What was really cool, they showed him where he went into the water and never took a breath for all 50 meters. He just went, and they said his form was absolutely perfect. And he won the gold at age 35. People didn't expect, but pretty cool. I mean, that's neat to see. So right now, and I don't know, let me see if I get an updated medal count because this is going to change because it just changed. It was waiting for it to refresh here. It's loading. Currently, right now, Olympic medals. United States has 47, 18 golds, 13 silvers, 16 bronze. China has 13 golds, 10 silvers, 14 bronze. And Japan has 7 golds, 3 silvers, and 14 bronze. So, Great Britain's, if you look at, America has 47 medals total. China 37, Japan 24, Great Britain 22, Russia 22, and Australia 18. You look at throughout today, the one thing that stood out is for Simone Manuel. She makes history. She breaks a record all in less than a minute. And it says Manuel became the first African-American woman to win an individual event in Olympic swimming. She and Penny Olakasik of Canada tied for the fastest time in Olympic record in the women's 100-meter freestyle, 52.7. So that's pretty cool. And then Katie Ledecky won, and another gold medal. I did not see. I saw the medal presentation, but I didn't see who it was who won it because I had my TV muted. I'm getting ready for my show, so that's pretty cool. Other news: Simone Biles made it official and won the all-around gold, with Ali Raisman from the United States winning silver, and Aliyah Mustafina from Russia won the bronze. I'll tell you what, that Simone Biles is unreal to watch her do gymnastics. She's like 4'8", and she's just unbelievably impressive to watch. But I was watching the Olympics today, And I had it on. I had the Cub game going, and Cubs won last night on a real walk-off. He walked in the winning run. But so I was watching back and forth, and today I had some people in the shop, and they're watching too. And it was a sport I didn't realize was an actual event, but it was gymnastic trampoline. I didn't know it was a sport, but so the gymnastic trampoline, and I watched one lady. She was flipping and missed the trampoline, like something I do, and wiped out. And you look at, it's pretty impressive, some of the flips they do, but how do you get involved into that sport? I always heard that if you had a trampoline in your yard, it brought your house value down. It's kind of like having an above ground pool. But also it says track and field, Michelle Carter wins shot put for gold for United States. So the medals are racking up. Pretty cool. It was breaking news that came across on the Rio Olympics tracker here. But, and other sports that are Olympic sports that, you look at gymnastics and you go, holy, yeah, that's impressive. You look at the swimming and all the different sports that I've seen so far, judo and stuff. But I don't know how they became sports. I'm sitting there looking at this going, you see all the different athletes, track and field, shot put, they had Kayla Harrison won her second straight gold in women's judo. You look at the different events. This is from athletic events, and then I'm sitting there flipping through the events trying to see, and I see weird sports that I didn't know were sports, and I can understand the the synchronized swimming. Tough to do, but race walking, I'm like, okay. I never realized, or dressage. I'd never heard of that. So dressage is a part of sports of equestrian, but it's really shown on TV in Canada, whatever that means. It says, just talking about a sport called dressage. I never knew it. Then men's steeplechase. It said, steeplechase is a 3,000-meter race, making it the longest race in the Olympics with obstacles. The men's race has been around since 1920, and the women's race debuted in 2008. It sounds like something. They said it sounds like something you'd have horses, but no. There's a giant puddle on the track, and you have to jump over. It's like a hurdle into the water and stuff. And I'm like, I wonder where that event came from. And and then there's shooting. And the little crack that this one gave was apparently this is sponsored by the NRA. But trampoline was the one I was talking about earlier. But modern pentathlon. And I heard the name and I'm going, okay, what's this consist of? Well, this sport consists of 4 different competitions. It's comprising of 5 different disciplines: fencing, 200-meter freestyle swimming, show jumping on a horse, and final combined with event of pistol shooting and a 3,200-meter cross-country run. I'm like, they were going, that's a sport. That's a lot. Kind of reminds me of the, what do they do? Where they cross-country ski and they shoot biathlon. And when they do it in the Winter Olympics, where they have to shoot out the targets, which is, I mean, tough to do. So, to be able to control your breath and everything and be able to shoot. So, yeah, there's some different sports out there that I didn't realize. I know, they took, they leave badminton in and they leave table tennis, or United States with ping pong. You imagine standing there and go, I have, gold medal in blah, 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 whatever, swimming. And somebody stands up, yeah, I have a gold medal in table tennis. I just don't sound like it's an Olympic sport. Well, apparently it is. And you look at, they took wrestling out and left table tennis in. They added golf, which, the one thing I don't like is I don't like the athletic events or, like the team events where we have professionals in it. Yeah, we were getting beat in basketball all the time, and, the other countries were mocking us because they're like, oh, look at you, you guys created the game, and you're getting beat all. So what do? They bring in the professional athletes, and I don't think it's quite has the same allure that it does. I mean, you look at the athletes, they expect the United States to win. They got a scare today. I guess they beat whoever it was they were playing. They beat them by, like, I don't know. The last one they had was 10 points. I don't know what it was for this one. But, I'd love to see the college athletes get that event or, get that exposure. You look at, speaking of athletic events, and, you don't think about this, but all these Olympians that win, a gold medal and everything like that, you got Ledecky and everything. For every gold medal, Olympic medals and bonuses, $25,000 for a gold medal, $15,000 for a silver, and $10,000 for a bronze. U.S. Olympic Committee awards athletes for landing one of these top spots on all count as taxable income to the IRS. It says victory bonuses or medals are seen by the IRS as being like any other prize winning, such as lottery, casino, or game show winnings, and thus are taxable. Which I don't think they should be, because that doesn't come in account for, like, you go buy a lottery ticket, you spent $2. You train for the Olympics, you spent money, time, effort into that, and you're representing your country. I think the Olympic medals should be tax-free. Because the most that they're going to win is, you look at Ledecky. She won 4 gold medals. So she's going to win $100,000. She should be able to get, I guarantee you their family spent a lot more than that training her throughout the years to get to there. So, they should be able to deduct off of that. And speaking of deducting taxes, Hillary Clinton come out and released her tax returns and urged Donald Trump to do the same. Well, what was kind of comical was, as she released her tax returns, she didn't bother. She donated money to charity. It says she, among her, Hillary and Bill earned $10,745,378 last year and wrote off $1,042,000 in charitable contributions. But the most interesting part of it, in which charities benefited from the Clintons' charity, it says, and they got a picture of her donations and everything. It says a $42,000 contribution was made to Desert Classic Charities, And the remaining million that went from one pocket to another as Hillary and her husband donated it to their very own Clinton Foundation. So $1 million got donated back to themselves. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know how you should be able to write off a donation to your own foundation. If you had no way to control that money, then I could understand it. But it says the Clinton Foundation gives as much to legitimate charities as Hillary Clinton. The foundation spends a mere 10% of its revenue on charitable grants, while equal 10% is spent on travel, 33% spent on salaries and benefits, and 47% on all other expenses, rent, supplies, IT, yeah, right. By contrast, charities like the American Red Cross and Doctors Without Borders spend 92 to 90% respectively of the revenue they raise on charitable causes for which they exist. It should come as a little surprise that later, after the FBI finished investigating Hillary Clinton, they began investigating her foundation. Well, apparently from the Daily Caller reported yesterday that multiple FBI investigations are underway involving the potential corruption charges against the Clinton Foundation. There was a memo that was leaked out that apparently the FBI was going to try to investigate the Clinton Foundation, and the Obama DOJ shut it down, said no. So there was an interview that came out, and they were interviewing and asking, there was a reporter asking about, it was confronting the State Department on Clinton Foundation, whether there was a conflict or if there was it ever investigated. And it says the AP reporter confronts State Department on Clinton Foundation, and I love the commercials when they pop up. But it says, I'm going to play that little snippet here for you so you can hear it for yourself.
Thanks, you guys. Sorry I'm late. Matt, I have nothing at the top.
Wow.
I know.
I don't really have anything huge, but I guess we'll start with Syria. Have you've seen the reports on it that the Russians have announced a daily 3-hour ceasefire?
In fact, why I was late. So thanks for the question. We're just seeing this proposal. I don't have a lot of details for you on it. We would welcome any pause that successfully facilitates delivery of vitally needed humanitarian supplies, but such a ceasefire must be observed by all parties. Our position has not changed. There are commitments that mandate free and open access for delivery of supplies requested by the UN, to include UNSCR 2254 and numerous other resolutions that Russia's long agreed to. All parties must abide by those.
Apparently, that's not the topic that I was talking about. That was her. Later on, it talks about when she gets into. It was during the state. I love it when you mouse over a.
Side of you, that should just get you up automatically.
If you, it says during Wednesday's State Department briefing, Associated Press diplomatic writer Matt Lee asked Department Press Office Director Elizabeth Trudeau, he says, "Am I not speaking English?" During a line of questioning about improper relationships between the Clinton Foundation and the State Department, Trudeau was asked by NBC News State Department producer Abigail Williams. Oh, here it says relevant remarks. Let's see here. Let's get it up to. Oh, too far. Here we go.
But I said before, I'm not going to speak to specific emails. However, I think you guys know State Department officials are regularly in touch with a wide variety of outside individuals and organizations, including businesses, nonprofits, NGOs, think tanks. You know, the nearly 55,000 pages of former Secretary Clinton's emails released by the department over the past year give a sense of the wide range of individuals, both inside and outside government, that State Department officials are in contact with on a range of subjects.
So you don't feel like this email, or you don't feel like there was impropriety in the relationship between the Clinton Foundation and the State Department?
We talk to a wide range of people at my level, at various levels in the department, NGOs, think tanks, business leaders, you know, experts on a variety of subjects.
Except in this,
That's not her question.
and importantly, in this case, Secretary Clinton made a pledge that she would not personally or substantially in any way involve herself with the Clinton Foundation. So it's not just any outside organization, it's a specific organization that she said ahead of time she wouldn't have contact with. So doesn't this then seem to violate that pledge?
So, again, to reiterate, you know, department officials are in touch with a wide range of individuals. I'd note that former Secretary Clinton's ethics agreement did not preclude other State Department officials from having contact with Clinton Foundation staff.
Can you at least try to answer Abigail's question, which was, is the department looked into this and determined that there was no impropriety?
The department is regularly in touch with people across the whole spectrum.
That's
Matt.
not the question. The question is whether or not you looked into this. The building has looked into it and determined that everything was okay, that there was nothing wrong.
We feel confident in our ability and our past practice of reaching out to a variety of sources and being responsive to
I'm
requests.
sorry. Am I not speaking English? Is this? I mean, is it coming across as a form? I'm not asking you if. No one is saying it's not okay or it's bad for the department to get a broad variety of input from different people. The question is whether or not you've determined that there was nothing improper here.
We feel confident that all the rules were followed.
In other words, they didn't do anything. So she didn't bother checking into it. So she has no idea. She's trying to punt that thing down the road to get it out of there. Tried to BS her way past them. And surprisingly, an AP reporter called her out, which lately the Clinton Foundation or Clintons have been able to do is, you know, it's like, silicone. It's just like, doesn't stick, nothing. Everything bounces off. You know, they talk about Donald Trump, and they talk about Donald Trump making a statement, which was probably a poor joke on his his point about, the Second Amendment people and stuff like that. But they forget when Joe Biden said something, and nobody ever questioned it. No biased report or Fox News didn't even come out and say, "Oh my God, is Joe Biden threatening the president?" or the, at that time it was Senator Obama running for president. Hillary Clinton, she made comments that she was going to stay in the race for as long as it took in case Obama was assassinated. She made those comments. I mean, it's not like these are magic. All of a sudden these are just, they say Donald Trump. Oh, he's talking about assassinating the president. No, or Hillary Clinton. No, he's not. And then they're talking about, well, one of his followers might, get a gun and go. Oh, I'm sorry. If they want to hear talk against somebody, they hear it daily from the Democrats. I see more Democrats attacking Trump supporters. There's one guy that was hit with a crowbar. They showed a picture of him in the hospital with his head in a bandage because he supported Donald Trump. More attacks at Trump rallies where Democrats are coming and attacking Trump supporters. You don't see that where Republicans are going to Democratic rallies to attack Hillary supporters. Because if they did, which the media has been taking the photos and doctoring them so they look like there are more people at her rallies than there are. And I seriously think that the polls that they do are designed to make it look like Hillary's in the lead just enough. I think the polls are so dishonest that they take. I guarantee you they select who they want to answer the questions. I honestly think that they try to do anything to steer it into their direction. You know, we've been, arguing back and forth about, the Hillary Clinton and the foundation. Talking about it. Well, Julian Assange comes out. And he hints that the leak of his source for the WikiLeaks emails from Hillary were from Seth Rich. And he's offering $20,000 in a reward to find out who killed him. It says that Seth was headed to be interviewed by the FBI the day he died. At 4:30 in the morning, he was shot in the back. And nothing was taken from him. That's the odd thing about it. They're talking about Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, Donald saying that, they're saying that he was making statements, and the Democrats come out and said, he's being investigated by the FBI for what he said. Well, if they don't do anything with Hillary, I don't know how they could do anything with Donald Trump. But there was an article that came out where Hillary Clinton said Trump's death would stimulate the economy. So, it just amazes me how one side says one thing and the other side says something, but they don't report on Hillary Clinton. Or they don't report on the Democrats. They forget. They have selective memory. Or they even automatically take it for granted. They go, they didn't mean that. So it's amazing how one-sided our election system is right now. You talk about, I'm flipping through my emails here. No, that's not the one I want. But they're talking about how it says Hillary suggested, we're talking about that the Obama assassination, but then she blasts Trump. But so they're talking about this. I was getting into people that have been involved in, the Clinton Foundation or the DNC, and there's this conspiracy theory that people that were involved are coming up dead, and the odds are, you talk about it and you sit there and people go, "Oh, that's just a conspiracy theory." But what are the odds of you knowing this many people? And I'm going to bring up the website and let's see if it's got an updated total. let me see here. I was yeah, it is right now the server, and I wonder because it says the server is temporarily unable to service your request, so they're getting hit with overwhelming amount of traffic, and I would bet that is spammed. It's called arkancide.com, ARKANCIDE. I've been there multiple times. It talks about the different people associated with the Clintons who have died as a result of their associated with the Clintons. Right now, there was a story that came out that in Maryland, where the apartment fire that blew up just about the center of it, that one of the DNC staffers lived there, and possibly more than one lived there. So the scary thing about that is people saying, oh, wait a minute, this is, another DNC staffer dead. Well, what are the odds of you knowing that many people that die in that weird, you think about it. Seth Rich gets shot in the back. You got, a possible DNC staffer blows up in his apartment complex. You think about the different people involved. The new one is, it says, let me see if I can bring that one up. Man who leaked the Clinton medical records. It says, Russia's Foreign Intelligence Service has issued a report saying the father of a doctor treating Hillary Clinton for dementia was found killed this week after he leaked information about her deteriorating health to the public. It said, according to the report, Vincent Fleck, the father of Clinton's physician Daniel Fleck, was found near his home just 24 hours after releasing Hillary Clinton's secret medical records to the public. It says the SVR first became alarmed regarding the circumstance of the latest mysterious death associated with Hillary Clinton on July 17th. This report says when known suspected Central Intelligence Agency CIA hit team traveled about 70 kilometers, 44 miles from their New York City-based headquarters to a small village named Mount Kisco, both being located in New York State. Upon arriving in Mount Kisco, the report continues the CIA hit team broke into a specialized small computer security company's annex office named Right Click Solutions, located on, and it gives the address, but were surprised by the unexpected arrival of an off-duty employee who immediately called the local police force when they noticed a break-in. They were only able to obtain a single laptop computer. Electronic interrogation of the company and its customers to ascertain the CIA's interest in it, the report says, revealed an anomaly where the computer security company had installed a Snowden-like dead man switch on the personal computer of Vincent Fleck. In the SVR, which is, if you're wondering what SVR is, I'm trying to... I do not know yet what SVR stands for, but it says, in SVR's investigation of Vincent Fleck, the report continued, it was discovered that he was the father of Daniel Fleck, who is a personal physical therapist for Hillary Clinton, whose practice is located in New York City. While SVR analysts were still investigating this case, the report notes they received information this past Sunday, August 7th, that Vincent Fleck had been reported dead in a mysterious swimming event near his home. And that was followed 24 hours later, the leaking to the public of Hillary Clinton's secret medical reports from a Twitter account named @Hill Medical Records. And that was nearly immediately shut down. It said prior to this Twitter account being shut down, however, this report continues. Its creator was able to state, "I hate to do this, but the people need to know," said Dr. Bardak was not honest about Hillary Clinton's health, and I have proof, and released several damaging medical documents. The most damaging being a diagnosis of Hillary Clinton that says she has complex partial seizures and subcortical vascular dementia. I'm not making this up, I'm just reading what it says. It says, still unable to be determined by SVR analysts. This report says if this leak was done by Vincent Fleck, acting alone, or by his son Daniel Fleck, who is using his father's computer, is a mistaken belief that he would not be discovered. With Hillary Clinton's health being reported in rapid decline, her aides having to constantly keep her from falling, this report concludes the U.S. propaganda mainstream media is now reported to be strangely silent about telling the American people about how she is with dementia, leaving everyone to wonder if she'll be even fit for office should she win the presidency. What's scary is if she is in this type of health and they're trying to hide it, it scares me. It's kind of reminds me of the show Dave, that she would get in and then somebody's going to do is, they will hide her and for a certain period of time and try to do a bunch of things where maybe Bill Clinton will try to run it, or, immediately if she gets incapacitated, Tim Kaine becomes the president, so, it's scary to think. But Ben Carson, who is Dr. Ben Carson, who ran for president, who's a neurosurgeon, he says it's critical for Hillary to release full health records. He says Ben Carson told Fox's Sean Hannity that it was critical for Hillary to release full medical history given intensifying questions over president's health issues. They show, I watched a video where it shows her and she's bobbing her head like a bobblehead doll. And she's making these weird facial movements and everything like that. And it looks like, and some people talked about how they thought it was the onset of Parkinson's, but apparently she's been diagnosed. But just think about that. Just think about if you were to leak something like that, if it's the case they kill you, that is the scary part of it. I mean, I didn't release this, thank God, but for them, to for all of a sudden they're going to, somebody releases something about her that's, and a CIA hit team takes them out. Where are we going to be as a country if that's the way we handle our situation? I guarantee you this doesn't happen for Donald Trump. You look at how many, I'm going to try to open that website again and see if it can, I'm wondering if it has been shut down. Yep. Its bandwidth limit exceeded. And top story in the Drudge. It says, hacker horror. All cell phone numbers, email of Democrats in Congress, leaked docs from Pelosi's PC. Nancy Pelosi. It goes through and it lists out their cell phone number and their emails of every single one of them. It said, after disappearing for a couple weeks, hacker for Guccifer 2.0 returned late this afternoon, providing a new headache for Democrats. It says in a post to his WordPress blog, the vandal who previously provided nearly 20,000 Democratic National Committee emails to WikiLeaks uploaded an Excel file that includes a cell phone number and private email addresses of nearly every Democrat member of the House of Representatives. It says it's announcing the leak of the document. Guccifer 2.0 reported that the spreadsheet was stolen during a hack of Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee. It says, as you see, I wasn't wasting my time. It was even easier than in the case of the DNC breach, the hacker wrote. So along with the Excel file, Guccifer 2.0 also uploaded documents that included the account names and passwords for an assortment of subscription services used by the DCC, from LexisNexis to Glenn Beck's website. And it says the password. It says Guccifer 2.0 claims to be a Romanian and an unknown hacker with laptop. Cybersecurity investigators have concluded that he is part of a Russian intelligence operation that has targeted the DNC. Hillary Clinton campaign staffers assorted Republicans, including John McCain, Lindsey Graham, and Michelle Bachmann. It said a message today, the hacker branded the U.S. presidential elections a farce that is being settled behind the scenes as it was with Bernie Sanders. He added, I wonder what happened to the true democracy, to be equal opportunities. The things we love the United States for, the big money bags are fighting for power today. They're lying constantly and don't keep their word. The MSM, which is mainstream media, are producing tons of propaganda, hiding the real stuff behind it. But I do believe that people have a right to know what's going on inside the election process, in fact. The Guccifer 2.0 also invited reporters to contact him via Twitter, direct message. It says, Dear journalist, you may have to send me a DM if you're interested in exclusive materials from the DCC, which I have plenty of, it says. It says the FBI is investigating the DNC and the DCCC hacks, along with attempts to compromise Gmail accounts of Clinton campaign staffers through the use of spear phishing emails, as detailed in series of emails exchanges last month. Guccifer 2.0 described himself as a committed hacktivist and bristled that TSG portrayals of him as a thief. He says, stop calling me a vandal, he wrote. I'm not a criminal. I'm a freedom fighter. While Guccifer 2.0 claimed to be a foe of the Illuminati and rich clans which try to rule the governments, cyber investigators theorize he may be actually just serving as the media liaison for the Russian government hacking teams suspected of breaching the Democratic Party's computer system. I don't believe it's the Russians hacking it. I really don't. So I think if it was Russians, with as much as the Democrats want us to be fighting with Russia, then they would come out with evidence for it. Well, we're going to take a quick break. It's that time, and we'll be back here shortly. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about Seth Rich.
Tune in every Monday and Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, for Straight Talk with Matt Hasley. Live audio on TuneIn Radio and Spreaker.com. Plus live video on Ustream.tv. From the demented minds at ArmedRadioGlobal.com.
Hey, Dan. How's the day going so far?
My day couldn't be better. You pull up less than 3 minutes after I open my Lyft app, and how do you greet me? With a kind hello? Just delightful.
Great. Care for a cookie?
A cookie? A chocolate chip cookie? You know, I'd love one.
Sure.
Hey, let me ask you something. How did you know I love this song?
I mean, come on, it's the Cold War kids. Everybody loves them.
Whoa! Who taught this guy how to merge? That was a fantastic merge!
Couldn't agree more.
That's it? That's all this costs? What's this thing running on? Smiles and high fives? You son of a Mike! I love you!
Thanks. Have a great day.
Lyft. Driving you happy. Just download and go.
Hey, Joe Rocks. It's Louis Avis, straight from Chi-Town. Call and talk about our website, www.hotsaucevault.com. We got everything you can think of out there, Joe. The hottest hot sauce is not for wimps, mild, medium sauces. We got barbecue sauces, snacks, some of our gift ideas and gag gifts, so you can go out and check us out at www.hotsaucevault.com. Hope to talk to you again on your radio show. Kick-ass show. Had a great time last week. Hope to hear from you soon. Take care, Joe. hotsaucevault.com.
If you're looking to reward, celebrate, recognize, or advertise, get help from the pros at Creative Marketing. Custom imprinted products to give that event a lasting impression. Log on to Creative Marketing on Facebook and click the Call Us button. With over 700,000 products, we're sure to find what is right for you. Remember, think Creative Marketing for all your adware needs.
Are you hangry? Know the signs. Uncontrollable yelling.
Why aren't you egg rolls?
Hallucination.
Sushi.
Pants discomfort.
I hate you, pants.
Hangry. It can happen to anyone. Fortunately, there's E24, the app that tells hunger to shut up.
Egg rolls. Thanks, Snoop.
E24. In my medical opinion, it's the best way to order food online, baby.
And now, another fresh insight from Roger Berkowitz, President and CEO of Legal Seafoods.
If your wife can't take the time to test your tuna for purity, then why should you take the time to come to a complete stop before letting her out of the car? Just saying.
Legal Seafoods. If it isn't fresh, it isn't legal.
Hey everyone, as you all know, summer is now here and everyone wants sexy summer skin. I'm partnered with Rodan & Fields, the #2 premium skincare company in the US. We have some fun treats for you guys. Check out my website at www.ewinters.myrandf.com. But wait, there's more. Join as a preferred customer to get 10% off and free shipping for all these amazing products that I'm currently obsessing over. Or email me for a free mini facial or free consultation at ewintersrf@gmail.com to get your sexy summer glow.
Right before we went to break, we're going to talk about Seth Rich. Apparently, ShotSpotter, which is a listening device, led police to the murdered DNC staffer. Hidden microphones designed to detect gunshots, also known to pick up conversations. Said a hidden listening device in Washington, D.C. alerted police to the shooting of DNC staffer Seth Rich last month. As reported by the New York Daily News, officers were led to the location of the shooting around 4:20 a.m. on July 10th using ShotSpotter system. ShotSpotter is an array of small acoustic microphones designed to detect and locate gunshots. It has been used in Washington, D.C. area for the last decade, with hundreds of sensors currently covering 1/3 of the Capitol. The system has been mired in controversy over its ability to record conversations, despite repeated claims of the opposite. In one such example, a conversation recorded by the system in Oakland, California during a 2007 murder was used as evidence in courts. In 2010, the device captured a small, frantic conversation in Palo Alto after being triggered by a small plane crash. It says, given the possibility the system could have captured more than just gunshots, this is InfoWars, this is coming out, Alex Jones, reached out to the Metropolitan Police Department in Washington, D.C. to ask if there was any other information that was garnered from ShotSpotter. According to the Media Relations Department, no information on the shooting will be given outside of official press releases. That's where they need to do is fill out the Freedom of Information Act. While police have suggested that Rich may have been the victim of attempted robbery, his watch, phone, and wallet were left at the scene. Theories have since begun to circulate that Rich was connected to the leak of nearly 20,000 emails from his superiors at the DNC. WikiLeaks, who published the DNC emails last month, drew more attention to the theory Tuesday after offering a $20,000 reward for information leading to the conviction for the murder. Said shortly after WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange appeared to suggest that Rich was the source during the interview on Dutch television, whistleblowers go to significant efforts to get us material and often very significant risks, Assange said. As a 27-year-old works for the DNC, was shot in the back, murdered just a few weeks ago for unknown reason as he was walking down the street in Washington. So it says, WikiLeaks, whose website allows whistleblowers to release information without revealing their identity, published an official statement the following day, seemingly rebuked claims itself was veritably the source. It says we treat threats towards any suspected source of WikiLeaks with extreme gravity, WikiLeaks wrote. This should not be taken to imply that Seth Rich was our source to WikiLeaks or to imply that his murder is connected to the publication. So, they're offering $20,000 for information about it. Well, Newt Gingrich, he come out and he was being interviewed, and he says if someone is gunned down in our capital, we should know why. And I agree with that. He says, Rich was gunned down in Washington, D.C. last month in unexplained circumstances, with his killer not taking anything of his possessions. So, you look at how are they going to find out what happened? Well, maybe those microphones might be able to give some insight into it. And maybe a Freedom of Information Act might have to go there, but I don't know. It's just amazing how many things they cover up, and I guarantee you they're probably not going to get maybe just him pleading for his life, if anything. If he was shot in the back, it might just be gunshots. That's all you're going to hear. So, the wild thing about it is you can get. They could go back to traffic cameras in the area and see what they can pick up from that. And if they wanted to, they're going to be able to pick up cars that are actually going by traffic cameras and try to pinpoint some of this, who was going and where and what, especially at 4:20 in the morning. The traffic is probably not as, maybe around 6 or 7, it might be a little bit more, but 4:20 in the morning, I think you'd have a little bit less traffic. You might be able to do is, try to pinpoint and reduce your suspects there. I know Washington, D.C. is a busy place, but, in that area where he was at, maybe you might be able to pick him up. That's, scary to think that it's just too much coincidence that these are all involved. Well, there was an article that came out today, speaking of, different weird circumstances, but it said, and the article was titled, let me see if I can find it here. I just gotta find it here. It says, there was one about 6.5 trillion. It says United States Department of Defense Inspector General's report has revealed that officials at the country's defense headquarters cannot account for a whopping 6.5 trillion allocated by Congress to protect the country. The United States defense spending has been rising over the years. In 2015, the country is said to have spent $601 billion on defense, which is more than the next 7 highest spending countries combined. It says, according to the report published on July 26, 2016, officials at the Pentagon and the DoD failed to properly account for the transaction and data on monies allocated to the agency as part of the country's defense budget over several years. It says, the Free Thought Project reports that beginning in 1996, all federal agencies in the United States, including the Pentagon, were mandated by law to conduct regular financial audits. However, it is said that the Pentagon has never complied with the federal law for 20 years now. The agency is said to have never accounted for trillions of dollars in taxpayer funds it has spent. It is said the Pentagon has never completed an audit since the federal law on audit was passed. Therefore, it is unclear for the Auditor General to specifically determine what the country's defense officials spent the trillions of dollars allocated for wars, equipment, personnel, housing, health care, and procurements on sensitive documents that could show or should show a track of transactions on the money are missing, according to the Auditor General's report. It says, according to the procedure regarding how money spending records should be kept at the Pentagon, for every transaction, there's a journal voucher that provides serial numbers, transaction dates, and the amount of the expenditure. This procedure was instituted to ensure a smooth future auditing process and help auditors know how monies are spent at the agency. The Defense Finance and Accounting Service, DFAS, which serves the agency of the DoD in charge of the Pentagon's civilian and military members, was supposed to document the journal voucher. The DFAS is based in the city of Indianapolis. It says, however, the Auditor General reports found that the Pentagon officials have neglected this smooth record-keeping procedure. Officials failed to furnish the auditors with the documentation of their transactions over the years, making it difficult for auditors to know how and what the $6.5 trillion were used for. Even before this damning audit report, Reuters had earlier revealed in a special investigation that employees of the DFAS were routinely told by superiors at the Pentagon to take unsubstantiated change actions, commonly referred to as plugging the numbers. The news agency said these plugs amounted to falsifying financial records, which is then used to create the appearance that the military's financial data matched that of the Treasury Department. This makes the discrepancies in the financial data couldn't be accounted for, and officials of the Pentagon can then divert money meant for official business for their personal benefit. So the Auditor General reports confirmed that Reuters' investigation, the report said that many problems occurred due to bookkeeping errors. It said the DFAS has failed to provide necessary tracking information essential to performing an accurate audit of the Pentagon spending and obligations. said Army and DFAS Indianapolis personnel did not adequately support $2.8 trillion in the third quarter adjustments and $6.5 trillion in the year-end adjustments made to Army General Fund data during fiscal year 2015 financial statement compilation. We conducted this audit in accordance with generally accepted government auditing standards. The Assistant Inspector General for Financial Management and Reporting, Lauren T. Venable, wrote in the report. You look at that. $6.5 trillion. It says, meanwhile, the Pentagon and the DoD can't account for $6.5 trillion taxpayer funds. In 2014, it is said that there were 47 million people, including over 15 million children living in poverty in the United States, when they can't count for $6.5 trillion. Take that and divide that over all the people. I mean, what a waste of money. You know, we're talking about, Hillary Clinton is talking about raising taxes on pretty much everybody. I guarantee you, she plans to raise, and she wants to go into this jobs creation thing that she's going to blow all this money into creating these jobs, these high-paying jobs, she says. And then where is going to be the money subsidizing to sustain these? Wind farm energy is propped up mainly by the government subsidies. So she talked about she wanted to get rid of coal and go to more clean energy technology. Well, you know, wind farm is going to have to be subsidized, and they're talking about building more wind farms and other things like that. Trump wants to cut taxes. He wants the companies, instead of investing in other countries that ship it here for nothing, to invest in plants here. I was talking to a friend of mine who mentioned one of the major golf companies had just built a plant in Mexico. And I'm like, they were in California, but he didn't want to, they wanted to do is move to Mexico, which is only about 90 miles south of where they're at now. So they want to do is, you know, nobody in California wants to work for $15 an hour. Well, you could come out and build a plant here in the Midwest, and you could hire people at $15 an hour all day long. And they would go work in that plant, and you would be right in the middle of the country where you could ship your product to both ends of the both ends of the United States and wherever from there. They got everything. You got air, railroad. We even have, you can transport them by water if you need to. It just amazes me that they want to do is build these plants in Mexico because they want to pay them nothing. And then the way our economy is set up, they can ship it back in the United States with no input tariffs. I mean, you look at all the companies that moved there. We got Cadillac. They built the North Star engine. Where's that built? Canada. You got Nabisco for Ritz and Oreos, and you have Maytag, and now one of the major golf companies is there. I mean, all these companies are designed, and then there's a commercial where Donald Trump is, they're showing products that Donald Trump is using from his company that are made overseas. You'd have to tell almost every company in the United States and give them the same crap. It doesn't matter. They are so afraid of their cozy way of life that they have it. We've never had anybody that comes out and tells us as a whole that we need this. This is what we need. They don't normally talk about this in elections. Our government usually sits there, and our people, when they talk about all these false promises that they're going to do, and they're going to cut taxes, and they're going to make more, give you more, get more pay to you, and they're going to do this and that and everything's going to be unicorns and frickin' rainbows. I'm sorry, but it doesn't happen. And then they get into it. Oh God, we're sorry. We really wanted to do it, but we're going to have to do is we're going to have to raise taxes on you. And then they immediately change what they said they were going to do. So, I mean, what I like about Donald Trump is everybody goes, oh, he tells it like it is. He doesn't give a rat's ass if you don't like him. That's the thing, is he tells you stuff you don't want to hear. You go to the doctor and you got to have surgery, and they tell you got cancer. You want to have the doctor going, well, I think it's just a cold. Here, take the 2 aspirin, call me in the morning. We'll go. You want to have somebody that's going to tell you like it is. Yeah, it sucks to hear the word, but let's do what we can to try to cure you. What came out today, and actually probably was it yesterday and today, it says that CENTCOM altered intelligence reports to make Obama's Islamic State war look better. So what did they do? You sit there. I want somebody to tell us, hey, it's working or it's not working, and be telling me the truth. I don't want some, that military leader to going over to fight ISIS to help, rid the world of this evil, and then be lying about it. It said Washington, D.C., a congressional task force created by 3 Republicans led House panels had confirmed allegations that senior U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, leaders manipulated intelligence assessments in 2014 and 2015 to make it appear that President Barack Obama is winning the war against Islamic State, ISIS/ISIL, what he calls it. So, with all this coming out, they said that they were altering reports, and they're all over Donald Trump for saying that that Barack Obama was the founder of ISIS, and pissed them off. So he's under fire for that, and he's not fighting back or not kowtowing to it. He says, "Hey, this is what it is." Let's see here. I got flip my page here. I got find out where I put it. I wrote it off to the side too, so I would. But it's actual audio, and let's see if I can find that one. It talks about. Oh, here you go. This is. It helps if I get it on the right computer. Let's see here. And this is actual audio from President Obama. It's a short one here. And listen to his exact words.
Was moving too slowly, but the fall of Ramadi has galvanized the Iraqi government. So with the additional steps I ordered last month, we're speeding up training of ISIL forces, including volunteers from Sunni tribes in Anbar province.
What did he say? He said they are going to...
Slowly, but the fall of Ramadi has galvanized the Iraqi government. So with the additional steps I ordered last month, we're speeding up training of ISIL forces.
So they're speeding up training of ISIL forces. What does President Barack Obama call ISIS? He calls them ISIL. So what is What is wrong with... I mean, that's evidence right there that he was training ISIS forces. I'm just like going, why does he not want to call them radical Islamists? Because he's been training them. He even admits to it. He says this came out, this is what came out today, but this was actually a speech that occurred in July of 2015. And it went right over people's heads. They didn't pay any attention to it. And I guarantee you, NBC, or not NBC, I'm sorry. Well, it might be NBC, but CNN, MSNBC, they're going to get the word out, and it's going to be, well, that's not exactly what he meant. That was taken out of context. I'm sorry, but it's getting to be where everything is, it's taken out of context for Hillary and